Hey everyone, and welcome back to AI Podcast. Today we're diving into some really cool AI news coming out of China. Baidu, the tech giant, just dropped not one, but two brand new AI models, and we're going to break it all down for you.
Two at once. It's a pretty big statement, isn't it? Really looks like they're trying to become a major player, not just in China, but globally.
Yeah, they're definitely making a power play here. We're talking ERNIE 4.5 and ERNIE X1.
Catchy names.
Right. So let's start with ERNIE 4.5. What's so special about this one?
Well, ERNIE 4.5 is all about multimodal understanding, like how we experience the world with all our senses, right? We see, hear, read, all at the same time.
I see.
ERNIE 4.5 can process information in a similar way. It can understand text, images, audio, video.
It's like giving AI a more human-like way of experiencing the world.
Exactly. It gets the whole picture.
So it's not just reading words on a page, it's getting the context, the nuances.
Exactly. And this is where it gets even more interesting. Baidu claims ERNIE 4.5 has a really high EQ. It can understand subtle things like sarcasm, satire, even memes.
Wait, hold on. You're telling me this AI can understand my memes? That's amazing. Like, it can tell the difference between a sincere post and a joke.
That's what they're saying. It could totally change how we interact with AI, make it feel more natural, like you're talking to another person.
This is huge. So ERNIE 4.5 is the one that's all about understanding. What about ERNIE X1? What's its thing?
Well, ERNIE X1, that's the reasoning model. It tackles those complex tasks that require, planning and problem solving.
So, like, what kind of stuff are we talking about here?
Think about planning a trip, flights, hotels, activities, all within a budget.
Okay.
ERNIE X1 can handle that. Or let's say you want to write a story with a certain plot and characters, it can help you structure it, even suggest dialogue.
Whoa. So we're talking about AI that can not only understand information, but use it to actually solve problems and even get creative.
Exactly.
This is pretty mind-blowing stuff. Now, how does this all compare to what other companies are doing? Like DeepSeek, they made a big splash with their R1 model.
Right, and Baidu is definitely positioning ERNIE X1 as a direct competitor to DeepSeek's R1.
A real AI showdown. Now, let's talk about accessibility. Are we talking about super exclusive, super expensive technology here?
That's what makes this even more interesting. Baidu is making a big push for affordability and accessibility with both ERNIE 4.5 and X1.
So it's not just about creating powerful AI, it's about making it available to a wider audience.
Yeah, they're even going a step further. On June 30th, 2025, they're making ERNIE 4.5 open source.
You're kidding.
Nope. Developers, researchers, hobbyists, anyone can access the code, experiment with it, contribute to its development.
So they're basically inviting the whole world to participate in the development of AI. That's incredible. But let's get practical here. How can our listeners actually try out these models?
Well, for ERNIE 4.5, it's available through Baidu's ERNIE bot. Individual users can access it for free. And for developers, there's the KeenFam platform with API access starting at, get this, just $0.55 per 1 million input tokens and $2.20 per 1 million output tokens.
Input and output tokens.
Right, sorry. Think of tokens like the building blocks of language that these AI models work with. So input tokens are the information you give the model, your questions, your requests. Output tokens are what the model generates in response to your input, the answers, the code, whatever it may be. And the price is based on how many tokens you use during your interaction.
Makes sense. Now, what about ERNIE X1? How can people try that out?
ERNIE X1 will be available soon through API with pricing set at 0.28 cents per 1 million input tokens and $1.10 per 1 million output tokens.
So even more affordable than ERNIE 4.5. This is really exciting stuff. It feels like a major shift in the AI landscape.
It really does. And making these models more affordable, even open source, could have a ripple effect throughout the entire AI industry. Who knows what kind of innovation this could spark?
Well, on that
So, we were just talking about how affordable these new models are. I mean, it's kind of crazy when you think about it.
It is, especially compared to, earlier this year when DeepSeek launched their R1 reasoning model. It was a big deal because they managed to get like the same level of performance as those big expensive models like OpenAI's GPT-4, but at a way lower cost.
Yeah, DeepSeek definitely shook things up a bit. And it seems like Baidu's not just, sitting back and watching. They're like, okay, game on.
So how do ERNIE 4.5 and X1 actually measure up against those big names, DeepSeek and OpenAI? Like, give us the details.
Well, based on what Baidu's saying, ERNIE 4.5 is actually outperforming GPT 4.5 on a number of benchmarks.
Wow, really?
Yeah, and they're offering it at a much lower price, like way lower. They're saying it's just 1% of the cost of GPT 4.5.
That's a huge difference. What about ERNIE X1 and DeepSeek's R1? How do they compare?
Well, Baidu claims that ERNIE X1 is performing just as well as R1, but get this, at half the price.
So they're matching capabilities and undercutting on price. That's a pretty bold move.
Right, it's like a real battle for AI dominance is heating up.
And we can't forget about Baidu's decision to open source ERNIE 4.5. That's got to be a big part of their strategy to, become a leader in AI, not just in China, but worldwide.
Oh, absolutely. Open sourcing is a game changer. It's like they're saying, hey, everyone, come join the AI party.
Yeah, it really opens up so many possibilities. It's like they're inviting the world to help shape the future of AI.
Exactly. It's about building a community, an ecosystem around these models. By open sourcing ERNIE 4.5, Baidu's encouraging collaboration and potentially gaining a bigger slice of the AI pie.
It's like they're saying, let's all work together to make AI better.
Right. And all this talk about advanced AI and competition is exciting, but I have to admit, sometimes it makes me a little nervous. AI is evolving so quickly, and I can't help but wonder, like, what does it all mean for us? Our jobs, our future.
I know what you mean. It can feel a bit overwhelming sometimes, keeping up with all these changes.
Right. But at the end of the day, AI is just a tool, right? It's how we choose to use it, how we integrate it into our lives that really matters.
You're right. It's about harnessing AI's potential for good, making sure it benefits all of humanity.
Exactly. And conversations like this are so important. We need to keep talking about these things, discussing the implications of AI, making sure we're steering it in the right direction.
Well said.
So,
So, this has been another fascinating deep dive, but we're out of time for today. We'll be back tomorrow evening with a whole new topic. Until then, stay curious.
see that.